So this is what had happened previously on The Book of Huey. In our inaugural episode, we introduced two of our hosts, Huey Booker and Trixie, aka Trix with the Fix. Huey has the dopest, funniest, most insightful conversations with his friends. And within all the shenanigans and jokes, there are frequent profound moments and lots of quotable gems. And yet the idea that other folks could benefit from, or at the very least, be highly amused by listening in on these convos. He created a safe, judgment-free space to discuss love, sex, life, dating, relationships, fuckery, and advice with raw honesty and humor. Episode 1, The Road to Pre-Bay. The process of getting in touch with self, doing the work necessary to get ready mentally for a relationship, venturing out into the dating realm, going after that crush, and just opening up and being vulnerable. The Book of Huey, Chapter 1, Verse 1. Love your motherfucking self and live your truth. This is your announcer, Rebecca Lee.
Hey, what up, what up, what up? This is your boy, Huey Booker.
And this is Trixie.
Welcome to the Book of Huey.
Welcome.
All right, so I just want to thank everybody for tuning in to our second episode. Please follow us on SoundCloud and YouTube, among all other social media accounts at the Book of Huey. Our first episode is there, The Road to Pre-Bay. We're really excited. We're getting a lot of great feedback from it. Trix, what have you been hearing in the street?
I've been hearing that, I'm the star of the show and that, you are definitely okay, but that I feel absolutely amazing. Is that what you've been hearing? Is that consistent with what you've been hearing?
I mean, I live in reality, so I guess you know much more. But no, people love you. Honestly, they were really sad that you couldn't make it to the launch party, which I've been posting a lot of pictures. I apologize to everybody. I've been flooding timelines, but we took a lot of dope-ass pictures. People really love you. They were talking about our chemistry, how well we work together. They don't know that, we are really great friends, but we talk like every day with our production team to make sure we put on a good show. So I'm glad that people really like the chemistry, you know what I'm saying?
Yes. So other than the party, what else did you do this weekend? How was your weekend?
Our weekend was cool. It started off a little rough, so we had the party Thursday night. And then Friday, I had to wake up early for a work event, and then I actually went away to Deep Creek. So Deep Creek, for anybody outside of the DMV, it's like a lake out here. So people rent cabins, and they kick it hard for a few days. I went with a group called Goombay Adventures. It's an intramural kickball league out here that's really big. I haven't yet had a chance to participate, but...
Have you played?
I haven't yet. It's on my bucket list. I just live on, the other side of the DMV, so it'll be really hard to make it work. But, that's not really a good excuse. But I'm going to make it happen. But I met a lot of dope people. We had 5 houses, a lot of people from D.C., Maryland, Virginia, even Baltimore. I know that's in Maryland, but, that's like the other side people claim. So it was really cool. I had a really, really dope time. What about you?
So I did a couple of things. I went on some dates.
Dates, plural?
Yeah, I went on a couple of dates.
Oh, shit. Pop it.
Like I told you that I was open to dating and I was going to get my feet wet again. And
that's right.
I went on a date to the aquarium. You know this. I love the aquarium. I love the science center. Those were like my best dates. I went on a date to the aquarium. And then I went on a date, a church date.
Okay. I dig it.
Don't ever go on a church date. I went
on a church date before. It was awkward as fuck.
Okay, so let me just say this. It was a very small, traditional church. I'm not about to say the church's name because, we never know, right? So he had taken me to the aquarium, and now he made me promise I would come to church him the next day. Don't ask. Long story.
Wait, hold on. I got to ask. Did y'all wake up together and go to church?
You tried it, and God denied it. Just because you were freak and you was in Deep Creek, okay?
Who said I was freaking and hoeing?
Because why would you go to a kick? We're not even going to go.
Hey, we talking about you.
You a freak hoe.
Can we talk about you?
You was a freak hoe. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Did you go to church smelling like the night before?
No, that's not what happened. Okay, he went to his home, and I went to mine, okay?
Oh, okay.
We went to church, and one of the ladies in the church decided to give me a scarf to cover up my décolleté. I already felt like I was conservative, so that was a really weird experience. It was interesting. I'm like, I can't cover it up. You know what I mean? Like, it was weird. But
all right, for anybody who don't know, Trixie is blessed, really fucking blessed. Okay. Oh, my God. Like, you really can't put them anywhere else. I don't know what that lady thought she was going to do, But it ain't like you could take them off. They're there. They could be fully covered, and everybody and their mama gonna see them. So she should have let that ride.
It was fine. We had a good time. Thank you for telling everybody I have really big boobs. Just in case they didn't know. Thank you for making that announcement. But she covered me up. Afterwards, we had a good time. It was cute. It was a cute little date.
I dig it. I like it. I'm glad you had a good time.
Do you even know how we met?
How did y'all meet?
Okay. This man is my friend's sister-in-law, baby daddy.
What?
She couldn't make the full hookup because, it's messy, right? But
that sounds like some Cleveland hood shit.
It is. You know what? I'm not going to tell the story. You go ahead. I'm done.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Tell the story.
We had a good time. No submission. Let's talk about you being a freak hoe. Go back. Let's talk about
No. Tricks, I apologize. I'm sorry. Tell the story. The listeners want to know. They already invested.
So one of my girlfriends, she is married to a man. His sister has a baby daddy that she felt would be good for me.
Okay. So the baby mama set you up with her baby daddy?
No. My girlfriend is married to a man. Follow this, Huey. She's married to a man. His sister, so her sister-in-law, has a child by a man, okay?
Yeah.
That man, she wanted to hook me up with him.
Okay.
So her sister-in-law's baby daddy. She was like, Trace, I think he'd be perfect for you. And this was before, I think they had actually broken up. This was years ago. And I was like, girl, I can't get into that mess. So she posted me as her Woman Crush Wednesday. I hope she is not listening. But she posted me as her Woman Crush Wednesday. And she took the bait. And he DM'd me. And I asked her about it later. And she was like, yes, girl. And she was like, I talk about you all the time. I show him your pictures all the time. When they're at family functions. But how messy is that?
I feel like Tyler Perry is related somehow. I don't really fucking know.
No, that's messy. I don't even know if Tyler Perry will even get involved in that mess. I don't think Madea will have anything to do with that, but yeah, it's kind of messy. Would you be offended if your wife or girlfriend hooked one of her friends up with your niece's father?
Honestly, I look at it this way. Single people are going to be single. If I don't own any claims to, any exes of mine, damn sure I'm going to be worried about my siblings, cousins, husbands, children, parents. You know what I'm saying? There's too many apostrophes right there for me.
That's because you're not conceptualizing. It's your sister's baby daddy.
Uh-huh.
Would you be mad if your wife hooked her friend up with your sister's baby daddy?
No, because I feel like my wife represents me and I represent my wife. I ain't married yet, but I feel like she would have...
Sure about that?
First of all, like I said, she would have some good damn common sense. And then anybody she would recommend would also be a good choice. So I feel like even though we have that complicated sort of relationship, hey, more power to him. I would trust my wife, or she wouldn't be my wife. So I would be cool with it. I try not to get too involved in grown people business.
I don't believe that, Huey, at all.
I mean, you got to think about it, right? It's already done, He was an ain't shit dude. If he was somebody that didn't have the means to take care of himself, he was like a terrible dad to my niece, then that's different. But, no, this situation, it's a little complicated. But,
messy.
I mean, it sounded like, homie took you to church, had a nice day. I think you told me offline this was a date that you really wanted. But even like you told the listeners, you like the aquarium and all that type of stuff, so... It sounded like y'all had some conversations. He paid attention. He delivered. So, it sounded like he checked out.
I don't know if he really goes to that church. I think that's a church he goes to, on Easter and Mother's Day. It didn't seem like anyone knew him. I think he was trying to impress me because I'm a PK.
Oh, y'all PKs. It's kind of wild. He could have took your stadium or something.
Okay. Are you sure?
I don't know. Could he? Do you like stadium?
Do I like who?
Stadium.
You tried it.
Okay, stadium. Anybody not listening? It's a strip club in D.C.
Yeah, do you like stadium?
I've never been. I hear they got $2 Taco Tuesdays that is popping. I just ain't made it over there yet.
I don't really think you have to go because you have so many women in your arsenal. I don't think you really need to go to stadium.
Arsenal? Who got weaponry around here?
You just call up many of the women that are in your phone, and I'm pretty sure you will have a show. Okay.
Listen, I am a young, good Christian man, okay?
You are definitely a young, good man.
I'm not Christian.
You are.
Me and Black Jesus kick it, though.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Did y'all kick it this weekend?
We did. I was very holy this weekend. Thank you very much.
That you were holy this weekend?
Holy,
Oh,
H-O-L.
I thought you said Huey, like a Huey, like, you know, kind of like your name, but a little bit with an O, like a Huey.
I was not hoeing. I was holy, damn it. Why you trying to play me, man? I say I'm recently single, back out here. You just want to call me Huey the hoe.
You know what it is, though? I'm jealous, okay? Because,
why are you jealous, baby?
Because I feel like you're out getting your entire existence. You're dating everyone, and I'm
not dating everyone.
This is my perspective. I could be wrong or whatever. My perspective as your friend. You're dating everyone. You're kicking it with everybody. You have hoes upon hoes upon hoes. And it's like, where's Trixie's hoes? You know what I mean? Like,
Can I interrupt? First of all, the ladies that I date are not hoes. They are wonderful women of God.
Okay, you're not going to do this. I know you're trying to maintain all 100 relationships with all of the many different women you're dating. I'm not calling them hoes.
Just because a friend of mine called me community peak because all them pictures of women kissing on my cheek don't mean I'm out here community penis, okay?
You know what? Sorry, beautiful women that Huey is dating. I know you date beautiful, amazing, talented, ambitious women. Okay? So my apologies. But you know what I mean with the figure of speech when I say hoes on top of hoes. I don't necessarily want a hoe myself. I'm just saying, like, I'm jealous of the fact that, you know what I'm saying, you're out getting your entire life. It's like, I need to get my life. You're not going to be the only one, you know what I'm saying, getting your entire existence without me. It's not fair. You have to take your friends along.
Well, if you had made it to the launch party, it was a lot of eligible bachelors up in that joint.
First of all, I was stuck in Pennsylvania.
I know, you had to work.
I didn't see any eligible bachelors in the pictures, but some of them
look like... You gonna hate on the fellas like that, though? I feel like some of them are really popular.
I wouldn't say they were attractive. I thought I saw some wedding rings.
No, I wouldn't have did that. No, a lot of them brothers was very single, very popular. A lot of them were my close homies in D.C. Big ups to everybody. I ain't gonna name names, but they out there.
I'm sorry, y'all. Listen, I was joking. I'm sorry. I know y'all eligible bachelors, and I know y'all not dating a lot of women, and I know y'all aren't married, so Trixie apologizes. I'm sorry.
It's cool, baby. You ain't got to do all that. Listen, you want to get out here in these streets, you want to get your road to pre-bay popping, we're going to get it popping.
Yes. I can't be stuck, like, you know, on a church date with a moth-smelling peppermint scarf around my neck from the church mother. You know what I mean? Like...
Well, you know what? We're going to make that our mission. We're going to keep you on the road to pre-bay. We're going to let the listeners know, like the advice you was giving out, you know, who you are, what you're looking for, your expectations. A summary post was dropped this week. Check out thebookofhuey.com. Trix and I and our production team were working on that. So we got to make sure that the advice we're giving out, Trix, that we maintain it ourselves.
I give out advice, and I take my advice. I told you I was going to start dating again, and I finally went out on a date.
You did. Quick. Like, that was not even like a week. That was literally like 2 or 3 days. So I appreciate that. I'm glad. We're going to make sure you have some more high-quality dates.
Yes, high-quality dates, because you told me I went on another date. You told me to drop him because my date wasn't extraordinary.
Yeah, I feel like you are fucking awesome, and anybody that wants to spend your time needs to add to that level of awesomeness in his own way. And you were like, lackluster about it. So I know how busy you are, and outside of this show in your own life, homie didn't really come with it. He did himself a disservice.
These are facts.
Speaking of fact, I'm really obsessed with our social media. So again, we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, SoundCloud, YouTube, Snapchat, and Ask FM. That last platform, if you have any questions, you want to send in any ideas, definitely hit us up at Ask FM. We check it literally all the time. I know I do. But we got our first Tricks with the Fix submission. So I know last week we were saying how excited you are about this particular part of the show. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what this person sent in, and we can get to it.
We actually have 2. So the first one we're going to address because it's really quick and easy. This question is simply states it's one sentence. How can I ask a man politely for a dick pic?
Okay.
That's the question. I want Trick to fix it. So what I would say is just ask him, may I have a dick pic, please?
That's it.
What do you think, Huey? How would you want a woman to ask you for a penis picture?
You know, I would rather her just be like, come over. Dick pics make me uncomfortable, man. Like, I don't even know.
You've sent out plenty in your day.
I have sent out like 3 in my adult life. I think 2 of them was one woman I was in a relationship with.
Okay.
But my biggest fear, man, is I'm going to be in somebody's group meet, like my dick just going to be floating around to these different women, and they be like talking shit. That's like my worst fear. So I really don't even do it. But I feel like if a woman, like we were saying.
But your penis is legendary.
My penis?
Yeah, it's legendary, right?
You asking for confirmation or what?
I'm just asking you.
Hey, I'd rather be about it than talk about it.
Okay.
I ain't getting no complaints out here. But to the question, we're not going to talk about my penis. To the question, I think she should just ask. Like, she should just tell him that she want to see what he working with. The interesting thing about it is men say a lot of off-the-wall stuff. I know I do sometimes.
You do.
But in a lot of these exchanges, we really don't have the power. It's really dependent on how comfortable the woman is. But a lot of women who have all the power, they choose not to say anything. They choose not to ask the questions when they hold the keys to the kingdom. So I feel like if a woman wants a dick pic and a dude is interested and she's interested, she should just ask, hey, bro, drop them draws, send me what you got. More than likely, with all these dudes sending an unsolicited dick pic anyway, just ask the brother for it. Shut up.
Yeah, I've received several unsolicited, unwarranted dick pics.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be honest, I remember I received one when I was at work, and I was so surprised because it was the middle of the day, and I didn't necessarily want a picture. So I feel like for men send them, so freely and open, just say that. Like, may I please have a dick pic? Thank you. Beloved.
That's normal.
Would you send a dick pic if a woman sent you that message?
Nah, I'd probably tell her, my address.
And with that being my next question. I'm an Afro-Latino with a very curvaceous Latino look. Because of my look, a lot of men tend to right away fetishize me and put me into that sex kitten hot Latina role. They right away want me to always be sexy, speak Spanish to them, especially in the bedroom, and play that hot Latina role they've always dreamed of. I don't want to be anyone's fetish. I don't even speak Spanish. How do I let these guys know that I am actually more than what they fetishize me to be? Sincerely, I'm not your fetish, bitch.
Bitch?
I think that you answered your own question with your signature. I'm not your fetish, bitch. Women, especially curvaceous women, black women, Latino women, women of many different ethnicities are often fetishized by men, and sometimes it can be really frustrating, in the relationship, especially when you said he wanted you to speak Spanish to him when you're having sex, you don't even know any Spanish.
Right.
I think that's absolutely crazy, but it happens to women all the time. What do you think, Huey?
I think it's upsetting, honestly. It's one thing to have preferences, right? So maybe homie had a type, she fits it, but it's like he focused too much on the type of woman and not the woman who fit his type. And I guess what I mean by that is, did he spend time getting to know this woman? He didn't even know that they didn't speak Spanish. Did he spend the time getting to know her? Did he spend the time getting to figure out if she was even interested, if she was attracted to him, what makes her heart warm, what makes her smile? I think everyone has things that they're into, and that's cool, but nobody wants to feel objectified. I know I don't. I know from a lot of my close friends, family that are women, it's like a common complaint, but it's very upsetting to hear because it's not hard. If you just spend time talking to somebody and just ask them important questions, figure out who they are, it's not hard to make your interest known, get some traction in the way that you want. I find it upsetting.
I completely agree, and I definitely think, like I said, I'm not your fetish, bitch, flat out.
Flat out?
Yeah, just flat out, because I'm from Cleveland. You can say that to a man, and it just seems like, as Huey was saying, about really taking the time to getting to know someone and just watching out for many signs that will have you feeling that way. I don't know. I feel like with Latina women, are fetishized. Asian women, black women, oh my gosh, our curves, our butts, our hips, that is completely fetishized. I mean, it depends on who it's coming from, right? So for me, let's say, for example, a white man, and he fetishized me, I don't know how that would feel. I would be completely, utterly disgusted. I would try to put it back on him. I would ask him to make, green bean casserole or something if he asked me to do something crazy.
Green bean casserole?
Yeah, I don't know how else to fetishize a white person besides green bean.
Oh, my God. All my white listeners, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I was so thrown off just now.
I'm just saying, what do they do? I don't know. If you're asking an Afro-Latina woman to speak Spanish, I guess we can ask, what's the stereotype? Maybe make some green bean
credit
casserole.
score? I don't know.
What is it? You said drive a minivan, tell on people, snitch.
Oh,
what
my
did you say?
God. Are we going to do this right now?
I love white people. So I think just simply just being honest, telling and saying, I'm not a fetish, you're not going to disrespect me. I think it's really difficult dating with things like that. I know you said being an Afro-Latina woman, especially because you're curvaceous. Everybody always puts you in that set hit and roll. I wonder if she has issues with dating and that always being an obstacle.
Well, let's hope she's listening and she writes us in. It would be dope to see, what her response is to this episode. I'm even thinking about it. I want to be kind of careful about using the word fetish because, I mean, that has a different connotation in the BDSM community, and I want to be respectful of it. So I do want to make sure that we're sort of sensitive about the terminology that we're using. But I find that, you know, the shit she's talking about, it's annoying as fuck to deal with. Because I know on the other side, when we think about the road to pre-bay and self-actualization, really coming to terms with who we are as individuals, it can be very frustrating to navigate, I think, the playing field with, like, other people's preferences and desires. So even on the other side, right, like when you're not someone's preferred type, what does that really mean? So I know for me, I've been short forever. I stopped growing at like a solid 14. As soon as I hit puberty, I damn near ended it. I think from the time I was 14 to like 17, I grew like an inch. So a brother's been 5'5" forever. Now that I'm 30, I find that younger women, like in their 20s, care much more about my height. Older women care much more about my age because it sort of tells them, or at least they think it tells them, what it means to me in terms of wanting kids in the future and want to be out here thotting and bopping or whatever, which a lot of times is just really wrong. But the height thing has been like a big problem for some women. I find that for most women under the age of 35, they'll tell me like, oh, you're dope, you're handsome, and blah, 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 blah. You're just too short. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting. It's really interesting. I know that personally, the preferences that people have sort of makes people question, is your preference was keeping you single? I don't really have an answer for that, but I think it's a good conversation to have. I mean, what are your thoughts, Trick?
Well, let me just say this. Your height has never impacted you from getting hoes, apparently, because you have plenty. But
do you date hoes, okay?
Okay, you know what I mean? Young lady, young, beautiful black queens that are currently all 199 of you all that are dating Huey. Please forgive me. So do you feel like it has impacted your dating life, like for real? Because it doesn't seem like it has. Like, I'm not sure if it's just your confidence. I don't know what it is. Me, personally, you ain't that short. So, I mean, you're short, but it's not like fun size.
I appreciate that. If anything, I got a mouthpiece, you know what I'm saying? I know how to talk to women. I have character. I have a personality.
Let me just tell this story. Huey got a mouthpiece. Let me tell y'all. So Huey comes over my house, right? And Huey's nervous, right, because he don't know what I'm about to say. So Huey came to my house, told me to pick out this stuff. I got anxious because I'm like, I don't want to part with any makeup that he needs in order for us to drive promotional activity for our podcast. So Huey, like, basically talked me into giving up my makeup, which is extremely difficult. So then I sit on my chair, and Huey proceeds to try to slide in and give me a massage. He got a mouthpiece, y'all. And he's
Wait a minute. What, how does, okay, I don't even, all right. I don't even know how that is. Is this
what happened? Is this what happened? Ain't that what happened?
You want to know why? Because you were fucking having a panic attack. She got a room full of fucking makeup. Y'all seen the pictures and the videos I posted. I'm digging through all this shit, moving these heavy-ass boxes of eyeliner and shit, and she has, like, hundreds of the same item, and she, like, had a panic attack. She had to leave the room. So, okay, I let her have her moment. So then she's just like, you know, Hugh, I can't do it. I don't even know. I don't know about doing this show. It's just a lot. I can't give away my makeup. And I'm like, Trix, you get new makeup all the time. Like, she just told me how she gave away 30 boxes of makeup. Like, 30. So anyway, I was like, all right, cool. So I rubbed her shoulder for like a second. I was not trying to, like, finesse her out her drawers and sound like a grade A creep and shit. She was fucking having a breakdown, and I was trying to comfort my friend.
That is not what happened. Y'all don't listen to you.
See, you gonna make these people be thinking I'm just like grade A sleazeball.
Okay, I'm gonna stop.
He fucks with all the women.
He definitely was trying to like rub my shoulders, but he not a sleazeball. We definitely are just friends. But I'm just saying, you tried to massage my back.
Oh my God.
So to the point that he has a mouthpiece, that's pretty accurate.
No, shoot, having that mouthpiece is everything, man. Like, engage somebody's mind. I've seen a lot of women. They only like men that 6 feet, 6'5". Okay, cool. And they just like so bored with it. I'm not saying all tall men are dumb. I'm just saying that it's interesting to me how sometimes people will pick their preferences so hard body that they'll overlook all these other horrendous things that like annoy them in the long run. I used to have a type when I was younger, and now, I mean, I don't. I feel like when I was younger, short, light skin, straight hair, big booty. And then when I became like,
isn't that everyone's type?
Yeah, but then I was like, wait a second, why is my mama short and light skinned? And that was just like weird for me. No offense to all the short, light skinned, big booty girls out there, just don't look like Rosebud.
They don't have any problems. No reason for you to tell them no offense. They're fine.
Trust me. Cool. But now, I mean, blue, black, high yellow with freckles, or whatever. My preferences are more about, like, characteristics, right? Like moral integrity and all that type of stuff.
I don't believe that, Huey. Honestly, I think that those things are important, but all of the women you have everyone like, oh my gosh, like I'm talking to this girl, she's really awesome, and you say all those amazing things about her character, they're all gorgeous stuff. I'm
not saying, no, don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna be, dating somebody that looks like a foot, but I've dated taller, skinny women, I've dated short, round women, dark women, light women, natural hair, permed hair. They're all fine in their own way. It's just like you can't go to me and be like, ooh, this person is 5'7", with small titties and a big booty. She got a thigh tattoo. Huey gonna be all over her and her curly hair. Like, no, that one specific type necessarily isn't gonna do it for me. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. It seems like you do like light skin with a thigh tattoo. That was very specific.
There are some out there that have that and they find me. Can we go back to the table? Oh, please.
So I feel like when you were talking about you dated like all types of women, I think when you were talking about people passing over preferences, guys, you guys know that I am a plus woman. And I am okay with that. I think, like, we were talking about this the other day about, like, dating and what it's like dating overweight or dating plus women. And just to kind of just piggyback off what you were talking about, versus your height, I feel like I've never really experienced the rougher side of dating being a plus woman, but I will tell you that I have seen a whole lot and I've heard a whole lot, right? One of the things that have always scared me with dating is because, like, growing up in the church, the black church, you often see, like, these big, overweight plus women, no shade, because I'm a plus woman, dating either broke men or gay men. Let's just get this together. These women are off beard for these gay men who sleep with each other.
What do you mean by beard for our listeners who don't know what you're talking about?
Do you know how, like, y'all men grow beards to cover y'all ugly faces?
Well, my beard don't connect, so I got a struggle beard. I just keep the goatee popping.
You do have a struggle beard, but we praying for it. So anyway, it's basically like someone that covers up the fact that the guy is homosexual. So a beard is like a woman that is dated to cover up his actual lifestyle, or not even necessarily his lifestyle, could just be his desires. And I feel like these gay men prey on overweight women. They date them, they marry them, sometimes have sex with them, and it's just so unfortunate because you just know that they're in other relationships with the person they truly desire, but they're using someone basically to cover up their lifestyle. And what bothers me about that is just like the self-esteem piece, being a plus woman and having to experience maybe either lack of attention, not getting enough attention, or not being pretty enough, or being big but you're pretty, or you're pretty to be overweight. Or I've had men flat out tell me, I normally don't date big girls, but you are fine, and I'm going to date you. I like your shape.
Did you slap him when he said that?
No, because, I don't fight men, so we don't even have anything to talk about. So, tying back to talking about being, like, food and how, like, mistreated, I remember my cousin, my other fear was, like, being used by men, right? Because my cousin, and I hope he's not listening to this because he's in Cleveland, too. He told me a story about how he used to take him to a small town outside of Cleveland so he couldn't be seen with them. And they would give him money. Of course, he was sleeping with him or whatever. But it's just like he didn't want to be seen with him. And so for me, that was always my fear. I was like, I'm not going to be used. I'm definitely not going to be nobody's beard. And those are like my things. So when it came to like dating, it was difficult for me to navigate because you have to prove that you really want to be with me. It had less to do with my insecurities. It had more to do with what I had seen because I didn't really necessarily feel like I was insecure. And then as I got a little bit older, I also experienced being fetishized as being an overweight woman. Now, like Huey said, there's nothing wrong with fetishes and kinks, and, we'll kind of get into that a little bit later. But, my concern is just when men really desire for you to be overweight. So if you meet a man and he's attracted to you, you're in the process and you end up losing weight in the relationship, and you guys are just healthy together or, whatever your desires are together, that's pretty much normal, right? He supports you. But what happens if you date a man and he wants to see you eat in bed?
Wow.
Or he wants you to stay overweight? Or he will leave you if you don't eat enough or you lose weight? So that is what I'm talking about when I say like fetishizing plus women. And just, I can go on and on about the experiences of plus women. Have you ever dated a plus woman, Huey?
Dated? Yeah, I have. I think if a person's dope, beautiful, we get along. She could be super petite, she could be plus size. Beautiful woman is a beautiful woman to me. So I don't necessarily have those qualms. It's more about, am I attracted to her physically? Am I attracted to her emotionally, mentally? If the answer is yes, then we're going to date. And that's that simple.
I find that so interesting, right? And that's good. Like, I know you really are like that. And the thing is, I don't think anyone has to be like, oh my gosh, you have to like plus women. I feel like if that's not your preference, we all have preferences, right? That's cool. For example, I have a lot of friends who tell me like these men are dating, they'll be in relationships or married to smaller women, but they're in my DMs and they think it's cute. So what troubles me is that they don't understand that it could be maybe they do like your body type, they like the way you look and feel, but they won't actually be in a relationship or move forward in a relationship or marry someone because you're not the idea of what they would marry.
You know what? That actually really pisses me off. We mentioned it last week, all about, walking in your truth, living in your truth, living your best life. And I feel like we have some plus-size sisters out there, plus-size men out there who are doing that. They love themselves. They're confident. Keep getting these people who want to love them, but on the low. I'm not with that. If you can't love me out loud, fuck all that. To any plus-size men and women out there, I feel like if somebody's trying to shortchange you to be like a secret lover, man, tell their asses to kick rocks on a hot day.
A secret lover, a beard, okay? Oh, wait, Huey, did you hear about what happened with Star Jones' ex-husband?
He like came out as bisexual or something?
So Star Jones is getting married again
Okay.
to a new man. To her, she's engaged, but she was married before to a bisexual man who we all knew was bisexual, with no shade, because I know I'm a hetero woman and I shouldn't be saying this. I'm going to say it anyway. Al Reynolds, we never thought you were straight. We all thought you were bisexual. I didn't know there was a closet for you to come out of. Anyway, he was saying that he basically came out the closet like, I'm capable of loving both sexes and I've done both. And he talks about how he was a child, how he grew up in a small Southern Baptist family. What did I say about those, church people?
Right.
And, he talks about how, like, when he was in the public eye, that people speculated about his sexuality. He just didn't want to come out at that time. So he chose this time to come out and talk about how he's bisexual. Now, it's several things that I find interesting about that. Number one, it's like you're still trying to ride Star's coattail. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you're still trying to ride her coattail and coming out, and she's actually getting married. Because her ex-husband, I'm pretty sure a blog reached out to him and asked him about his, opinion on it. And he decided to give this statement instead of just saying no comment. But that just kind of ties into what I feel is another overweight woman being a beard. That's how I feel. So if somebody wants you to be a beard, if someone wants you to eat donuts in bed at night, actually that sounds awesome. But doesn't want you to live your best life, you need to leave them alone.
Absolutely.
What?
And leave them alone the first time, I mean, it's one thing if you're married with children, if you have children, have property together, like, okay, you have real life financial considerations to work through. I get it. But if people are just dating, I'm a firm believer that the first time, the second time, that you give somebody an opportunity and they prove to you who they are with that opportunity by hurting you and doing you wrong, let that nigga go. Let them go. Like, life is too short to be in a situation where you're emotionally vested and you're just getting hurt. Like, I find that's like, masochistic. I don't think it's healthy. I think it's very dysfunctional. Of course, people are going to do wrong, but if you decide to stay in that messy situation, I hope that people really take advantage of therapy that's offered out there. I'm not being shady at all. I mean, I'm a big proponent of therapy. For myself, like, I've done it.
No, it wasn't that you offered therapies. It was the fact that when you said it, like, and it was hilarious. I'm sorry. So go ahead.
It's all good. I do sometimes try to make light of those situations. But for real, anybody who's listening right now, if you're in a situation where you feel like somebody is using you as a prop in their life to be a beard, to be a trophy, to be an opportunity to come up, you feel like they don't really love and value you and all your proclivities, all your failures, every scar, every success, let them go. And it might be hard. I just went through it. Straight up. Like I said, there are no villains in my story. It was just not a situation that I wanted. Had I stayed, I would have been doing myself a very large disservice. I mean, I get it that these things are really hard to come by. I feel like anybody who's in a situation where they're not living their truth and they're stringing somebody along, I hope that you understand the responsibility that you have to be honest with yourself first and with the people, that you're in these relationships with, romantically, platonically, whatever. Because when you don't live your truth, man, you can hurt a lot of people, and that's the type of damage that takes years to overcome.
Do you feel like you've been damaged by someone who wasn't living the truth?
Oh, absolutely. I spent my 20s in 3 very serious but dysfunctional relationships for various reasons. I would say most of those people were very nice, well-meaning people. But at the end of the day, myself included, we all hurt each other, right? We were not ready for some of the situations that we walked into. And, I had a friend who used to say, let me place you in some hot water and see what type of tea you brew, because I may or may not like flavor. In my 20s, I was in a lot of situations where when the pressure came on, character flaws really came out, and it was, problematic. Yeah, I got hurt. I'm sure I hurt some people in the process, too. I'm not absolving myself of any guilt. And I think that, really, when I ended my engagement a few years ago, I spent a lot of time just, by myself, sitting in the pain, just trying to do better. When I was in my 20s, if I wasn't in a relationship, I was having, random one-night stands, and those weren't fulfilling either. But I didn't really know anything different. I say my later 20s, I just really wanted to focus more on, figuring me out and where I would go wrong and trying to do better. And shit was hard, I think it's easy sometimes dealing with somebody else because you can point out their flaws and you can critique them or whatever. But when you got to sit with yourself, that shit is rough, So I definitely have hurt other people, and that's just a cycle that I'm not willing to openly, actively participate in anymore,
See, I don't feel like I've ever hurt anybody. I have been,
sure?
Oh my gosh, listen, you can call all them, I almost said a bad word, you can call all of them. And I'm not saying I've never hurt anyone. I would think my issue is that I continue to get messages, and not just from men I've dated, but also platonic friendships, where I receive messages like, I'm sorry, I was a bad friend to you. I'm sorry, I hurt you. I was not good to you, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of that is alleviating their guilt, but I feel like I am a nurturer, healer by nature. And so I often draw broken people to me, and I don't want none of y'all no more. I don't want no more brokenness. I don't want y'all get away from me. I have to make sure that I'm okay with it. I'm not apologizing for energy or who I am or my spirit or my purpose, whatever you want to call it. But I had to learn to be more selective with who I give energy to and who I channel that energy in, because then I'm usually at the receiving end of the pain. And it's not that I'm a victim. It's just that I don't want y'all no more. I don't want it. Don't come near me. Take your brokenness to a therapist. I can't do nothing for you. Okay? That's what I'm doing in 2017. Other thing that I'm doing for myself, I've been in situations where I have been on the end of someone who was so broken, in so much pain. And, it came to a place where, hurt people. And I had to let that situation go. And that was one of the most difficult situations that I think I've gone through in my life, as far as just life in general. It was up there with some of the most painful situations I've been through. And I don't regret the fact that I ended it when I ended it. I don't regret the fact that I did what I did. I feel like I did everything I did was well thought out. It just wasn't right. And I don't want to be, I'm not going to do that no more. So even when I feel or hear somebody with similar qualities, I'm like, nope, bye-bye. I don't want no parts.
I definitely hear that, and I respect it. For anyone listening who might be very encouraged by what we're sharing with our stories, when you finally got to a point where you were like, you know what, I'm done with living this type of life, dealing with these type of situations and people, how did you feel your internal dialogue changed thereafter? How did you notice yourself responding to things differently when you decided to make those changes and stick by those changes in your life?
So there's several things that are happening because I'm continuously making changes. One of the things that I did was I stopped blaming everyone else for my life. I put myself in a power seat. First of all, I'm not a victim, and I don't ever really feel like I felt or tried to portray myself as a victim, but I was continually being victimized. I just wasn't saying how I felt, and I pushed my feelings to the side in order to make other people happy. So now I don't give 2 fucks. So what that started with was something simple as, it gets something so simple, and my family's listening, and I really don't care. I would buy everybody Christmas presents, and I would never get anything back. So you know what I did? I bought myself Christmas presents. That was it.
How much
That was
you
the
buy
first.
yourself?
What did I buy myself?
Yeah.
I think like the first year I bought like a really pretty handbag. Don't ask me what it is. I bought a bracelet, a watch, and then every year I buy myself a lot of Christmas presents. And that's something that's just so silly, you know, and I do appreciate things that my family does. They do for me when they can, but I'm just talking about the facts. That's just something so small. But I was like, I'm not buying anybody else anything. I'm doing all this stuff for my family or my friends. And I'm not going to do that anymore. Who cares? We still have fun on Christmas. Like, I don't have to buy anybody anything. It's just we have fun on Christmas. It's something I always want everyone to be happy. And I was like, you know, I got to make myself happy. Just spending time with myself, saying no to things that I don't want to do. And it's so funny because someone asked me to do something this weekend, and my girlfriend called me. She wanted me to go volunteer or something. I said, no, I'm not going to do it. She was like, oh, what do you have to do today? I was like, nothing. I just don't want to go. So just starting to say no to things, being more transparent about how I feel. Like there's no excuse. I just don't feel like it, and I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? Like really simple, learning to say no. And then we talked about this last week, doing things that you want to do for you. And I just don't care anymore. If you don't want to come with me, I go by myself or I go with some friends. Like it doesn't really matter to me. I do what I want to do when I want to do it because I don't have any children. I don't even own a fish, Huey. I'm not like responsible for any motherfucker, like period. I do what Trixie wants to do when she wants to do it. Now listen, if you want to get on the Trixie Jubilee, you are welcome. But if you don't feel like it, you just ain't gonna feel like it because I'm not stopping the show for anyone. Okay? What about you, Huey? How did you stop this cycle?
For me, I sat my black ass down. I haven't been shy with women since I was like 10 years old. I was a really shy kid, a really anxious kid for numerous reasons. And I was like, you know what? I'm about to be a teenager. I think it was maybe like 11. Like I'm in middle school now. I shouldn't be nervous talking to girls. So I would force myself to talk to girls. And after a while, it just wasn't so bad. And I was part of that generation that still walked around with like a pen and notepad to go out and get numbers every day. Talking to women, flirting with women, pursuing women has never really been like a thing for me, like an issue. So it would have been very easy for me to still be in my hurt and my pain and go out there and engage a lot of women. I mean, I did. I went on some dates, but it was mainly to like just get out the house and make some friends. I did make some cool friends. I think I slept with one person twice, and it just wasn't feeling right for numerous reasons. So I just chilled out, worked through my grief and my issues, my anger, and I was just very adamant about not bringing in a woman or women into that situation where I knew I wasn't living right. I knew I wasn't emotionally together. I knew I was still in pain. Mm-hmm. I just sat down and I chilled out. It's very what?
Mature. I feel like when people are in pain, they don't want to be alone. It's the toughest to be alone when you're in pain. So we often drag people into our pain and we pursue them even in our pain in order to have some relief. And it's not fair. And we unleash all of our energy and our negativity and our pain and our hurt on them, especially with men. I feel like men do it a lot. And I'm not saying women don't do it, but just because I know I have a lot of male friends, dated a lot, I just like men do it a whole lot. The reason why my theory on it is because I feel like men are not really given permission to express themselves. It's like, don't cry because you'll be a punk. Oh, but don't get angry because then you're toxic. Here goes this toxic masculinity rearing its head. If you get angry, you say how you feel. You know, don't be too emotional. You don't have any way to express yourself. And I feel like a lot of times men definitely, they do it and try to release their energy that way. And I could be wrong, but that's just my personal opinion. What do you think?
I think anybody that's in a situation where their emotions are very, very much elevated in an extreme way, whether it's grieving the loss of a relationship or, you know, any number of things. And speaking from my own experience, that was definitely it. It would have been very easy to try to drown myself in sex, but I knew that it wouldn't have been satisfying or gratifying. It wouldn't have helped me grieve. So I agree. I think sometimes when you lack other healthy means of communicating your internal struggles, you know, it's easy for a guy to just focus on being hungry, angry, and horny, because those are the only three things that I think society allows for us. All right, so Trix, I feel like we've had a really interesting conversation. I'm very curious to see what all of our listeners and our followers on social media have to say. But what are some just like concluding thoughts for you when you think about someone who's, you know, walking their road to pre-bay, but then encountering these types of issues?
Love yourself. You have to truly believe that you are everything. Let me tell you, if you believe you're everything, everyone else will believe it. Trust me. I've been down this road. Secondly, don't be a beard. Don't be a beard. And thirdly, it's getting cold outside. And niggas are looking for a place to stay.
Oh, I love you so much. But that's real, though. Homosexuality is a thing out here in these streets.
Homosexuality. You are not supposed to give him a coat, a bus ticket. They don't have nothing. Don't let him in your house. I'm just saying, I've seen it. My girlfriend's experienced it. Y'all know who you are. I'm not throwing shade. But I'm just saying, don't let these people in your home. It's cold outside. You know, they're tired of bouncing from house to house, and they're looking for some place warm with some good sheets and some running water.
If I had to give my own, it would really be, let me think about this.
You actually said it earlier.
What?
You said something along the lines of, like, you know, if people don't just know, like, you're worth more than, like, who you physically are. Let somebody get to know you, and if people don't love every part of you, then, you know, I mean, you need to move on and move on quickly.
You know what? I'm glad you said that. So what I would say for my concluding thought is if you have somebody and they're not interested in getting to know the real you, the you that's more than your accent, more than the curves of your hip, more than your bust line, more than your wallet, more than your height, fellas, and they just want to make you a caricature, a trophy, a prop in their life, drop them. Of course, you have to love yourself like nobody else can, but if somebody's not willing to love you the way that you want to be loved, drop them. I'd rather live 1,000 years single than have a minute of someone taking advantage of me.
Now, that is a word. You hear me? That is a word.
Well, you know. Well, we appreciate you all. Definitely check us out on SoundCloud and YouTube. Also, we're going to be engaging you all on our other platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and Ask FM. Definitely send in more submissions for Tricks with the Fix. Thank you all, and have a great week.
Bye.
Peace out.
On behalf of the Book of Huey podcast, thanks for tuning in. This is your announcer, Rebecca Lee, signing off. Talk to you next week. And remember, folks, I'm not your fetish, bitch.